Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel RJK Tutorials. In the previous class, if you remember, in the subject principles of marketing, I was giving the overall view, features, importance of studying the basic principles of marketing. So in this class, I'll be focusing on the macro and the micro environment. And the principles of marketing subject is common for all the three universities, namely the Bangalore University, Bangalore North University, and also the Bangalore Central University. Now, talking about the marketing environment plays a very important role as it's going to influence the overall marketing functions of a company. The marketing environment includes both the internal as well as the external factors. The internal factors include the employees, customers, shareholders, retailers, distributors, employees, etc. The external factors include the political, legal, social, technological, economic factors so that surround the business and influence its marketing operations. So the marketers try to predict the changes which might affect the future prospects of the company by monitoring the marketing environment. So these changes may create a threat and opportunities for the business. With these changes, the marketers continue to modify the strategies and plans according to suit the market. So the marketing environment basically provides a tool for doing what is called environmental scanning. So through environmental scanning, they can predict what is the strength and weaknesses of their company, which is internal to the company, and threats and opportunity that is coming from the market. So according to that, they can change and modify the strategies to suit their future prospects of the company. Now coming to the definition of marketing environment. So according to Philip Kotler, a marketing environment is defined as a company's marketing environment consists of internal factors and forces which affect the company's ability to develop and maintain successful transactions and relationships with companies' target customers. So this is the definition given by Philip Kotler. Now, what are the main features of marketing environment? So these are the main features of marketing environment: specific and general forces, complexity, vibrancy, uncertainty, and relativity. Now, talking about specific and general forces, it basically refers to different forces that affect the market environment or marketing environment. Specific forces include those factors which directly affect the activities of the organization. Examples of specific forces are customers and investors. General forces are those forces which indirectly affect the organization. So the examples of general forces are the social, political, legal, and technological factors. So therefore, marketing environment can be very specific to a particular organization, or in general, it can affect a industry also. So the second one is complexity. So it is very difficult to understand the marketing environment because marketing environment is influenced by a number of factors, conditions, and influences. So the interaction among these elements makes the marketing environment more complex in nature. And the third one is vibrancy. So vibrancy implies the dynamic nature of marketing environment. A large number of forces outline the marketing environment, which does not remain stable and it undergoes changes over a period of time. So these changes happen because of the change in the taste and preferences of the customers and also the change in the technology. So, overall understanding the vibrant nature of marketing environment may give an opportunity to the marketers to gain the edge over the competitors. That means the companies which can able to understand the dynamic nature of the marketing environment will be able to project their marketing strategies, their products and services to the customers in a better way as compared to the customers. So the next one is uncertainty. It implies that the market forces are unpredictable in nature. Every marketer tries to predict market forces to make strategies and update their plans. It may be very difficult to predict some of the changes which occur frequently. Now, for example, if you take customer taste for a clothes changes quite frequently, and thus fashion industry suffers a great degree of uncertainty. So the trend in fashion industry keeps on changing because of the dynamic nature of the environment, and the fashion may live for few days, or it may be for few months, or even for few years. So it's very difficult to tell how long the fashion trend is going to be in the market. So therefore, for certain products, the marketing environment can become totally uncertain. Then the fifth one is relativity. So it explains the reasons for differences in demand in different countries. The product demand of any particular industry, organization, or a product may vary depending upon the country, region, and culture. For examples, if you take saris, the traditional dress of women in India, that is always in demand. However, in other Western countries, the demand for saris may be zero, or maybe little bit uh, small in number. So therefore, it is very difficult to predict with relatively accurately what is the exact amount of demand for a particular product. So therefore, so these are the features of marketing environment. So what are the features of marketing environment? Specific and general forces, complexity, vibrancy, uncertainty, and relativity. So the next one is the various environments under the marketing environment. So the marketing environment at the broader area is influenced by macro environment. Next, below that, you have a micro environment. Then you have an internal environment of a company. Now let us look into each of these environment. Now, what is an internal environment? So the internal environment, or the environment which is internal to the company. So these factors which influences the internal environment includes the labor, inventory, company policies, trade unions, logistics, budget, capital assets, various departments, HR department, marketing department, finance departments, etc. So these factors can be totally controllable by the company. So whereas micro environment includes the micro environmental factors such as customers, employees, suppliers, retailers, distributors, shareholders, competitors, general public, to government to a certain extent. So these factors are controllable to a certain extent. So even though you cannot control it completely, to a certain extent you can control it. Whereas the internal environmental factors can be controlled completely. And you have a third level of environment which is called as macro environment, which is influenced by socio-economic, technological forces, political, legal influences. They're also known as the pestle framework forces or factors. So here the company doesn't have any control on these factors. Okay, so talking about the micro environment. So the micro environment consists of all these things. The customers, as you know, the customers are people who actually pay money to acquire the product. Then you have organization, which consists of the shareholders, the board of directors, the employees. Then you have a market, and market is in turn is influenced by the price of a product, the demand of a particular product, and market maturity. That means to what extent the market is really mature for a particular product or not. Now, for example, if you take LEDs, in India, the LEDs is under the growth stage, whereas in other countries like American, European countries, LEDs under the maturity stage actually. Well, cost structure also plays an important role at par with the price sensitivity. Certain markets are very price sensitivity is seen. For example, Indian markets are very sensitive to price. Then the other factors includes the intermediaries. Intermediaries are those the people who are going to connect the company with the customers. So one who act as a bridge between the manufacturer and the marketer is called as intermediaries. They includes wholesaler, retailers, C&F agents, customers, or the buyers. All these things come under the intermediaries. Then you have competitors. The other entities that can compete for resources as well as the market share includes the competitors. Suppliers with their bargaining power can affect the cost structure of the market. So in that way, so the micro environment can include all these factors. Which are the factors? Customers, organization, the market itself, intermediaries, competitors, and suppliers. So next one is what do you mean by macro environment? So the macro environment involves a set of environmental factors that is beyond the control of any organization. That means the organization doesn't have any control on these factors. So these factors influence the organizational activities to a very significant extent. The macro environment is subject to constant change. Now, for example, any new political party comes into power, they may introduce a new economic reforms, they will come out with the new types of changes in the budget, or they may introduce a new legislations in the parliament. So like that, lot many changes can happen, and this is subject to change. And these are uncontrollable forces or factors that impact the decision making of a firm of the company to a certain extent. So the principal macro environmental factors includes technological factors, demographic factors, economic factors, environmental factors, political factors. In general, they are called as the pestle factors. Now, talking about the first environment is the demographic environment. So, demographic environment is the scientific study of human population in terms of elements. So, what are these elements? This includes age, gender, income, geographic location, family structure, religion and ethnicity, occupation, education level, etc. So, it also includes the increasing role of women and technology. So, these elements are also called as the demographic variables. So demographic environment is responsible for the variation in the taste and preferences and buying pattern of individuals. So this is very difficult to measure. So the variations in taste and preferences may change over a period of time because of the influence of socio-cultural factors or technological factors. So the next one is the economic environment. So the economic environment affects the organization's cost structure and customers' purchasing power. So the purchasing power of customer depends on the current income of a customer or the family income of the customer, the prices of the products, savings and credit availability. Now, this environment, this economic environment can also influence the company both to a certain extent in microeconomic level and also macroeconomic level. So, microeconomic level, they can affect the company through competitors in through demand, supply, market size, suppliers, distribution chain, other things. At a macroeconomic level, they can influence through unemployment, inflation, deflation, interest rate, GDP, exchange rate, consumer confidence, forex reserves, balance of payment, etc., etc. So the next environment is about the natural environment. So the natural environment consists of natural resources which are needed as raw materials to manufacture products by the organization. So the marketing activities affect these natural resources such as a depletion of ozone layer due to the use of the chemicals or the increase in pollution because of extensive use of raw materials. The corrosion of natural environment is increasing day by day and is becoming a global problem. So the natural environment also can create a trend, or certain times it can create even threat also for the survival of the company. So because of the following reason, one is the shortage of raw materials. So certain raw materials are undergoing a depletion over a period of time. It can create a shortage problem. So limited quantities of non-renewable resources, increased pollution. So this pollution because of the waste disposal, air and water pollutants are also increasing. Increased government interventions. There are various laws are being created in the United Nations and also by the government. Various agreements have been signed, such as Kyoto Protocol and other initiatives taken by the United Nations, also the government, to safeguard the environment for the future generation. And environment also plays an important role in changing the strategies of the company. So today we have what is called as the green movement, green product, green strategy, green marketing. So renewable resources we are using it. So the resources which can be recycled, reused. So these sort of concepts are created because of the influence of natural environment. So the next one is the socio-cultural environment. So the socio-cultural environment are influenced by socio-cultural factors. So these socio-cultural factors includes the attitude of people, demographic factors. It can include the religion, social responsibility of citizens, or the corporate social responsibility of the company. What is the responsibility the company is having towards the society? That is called corporate social responsibility. The taste and preferences of the people in the society, the education level, the family, the healthcare system in the country, the natural factors, technological factors, income and lifestyle, health and safety factors. So all these things play an important role as a part of socio-cultural environment. So, for example, if you take the lifestyle of people are changing day by day. So now the women are perceived as an active earning member of the family. If all the members of the family are working, then family has a less time to spend for shopping. So this has led to development of shopping malls and supermarkets, and also the creation of new markets called as the e-commerce market or online markets. So where individuals could get everything under one roof to save their time. So this is how the technology can influence the socio-cultural environment, changing the taste and preferences of the customers or the people. Then we have a technological environment. So what do you mean by technology? Technology is nothing but the commercial application of science. In other words, it refers to systematic application of knowledge essential to do things, focuses on machines, equipments, transmission of information, new techniques, process, etc. So what does the technological environment consist of? So technological environment consists of many things such as the nature of technology, right? What type of technology are using to convert the raw material to finished product. For example, India is a labor-oriented economy. We use more labors rather than the machineries, whereas the developed countries use the heavy machineries, more technologies like artificial intelligence and other things. So these things basically tell about the nature of technology. The next one is the phase of the technological change. So it leads to product obsolescence at a rapid pace. In fact, there is a saying that technology changes once in a 3 years. So technology, whatever you're seeing today, may not be available after 3 years. Now, for example, 5 years back or 7 years back, we all heard about what is called pages. Now, today, pages have become absolute because those technologies already incorporated in the mobile phones. Today, mobile phones are becoming smart gadgets. They're becoming the small computers actually. So in that way, technologies are changing. The next one is technological transfer. To what extent the government is going to give the permission or guidelines specified in the law to transfer the technology from one country to other country, from one company to the other companies. So that also play an important role. And when we talk about technology, we talk about R&D. So R&D budget also plays important role, especially the consumer durable goods like Samsung and LG, or it can be smartphone manufacturing companies. They come out with new brands, new technologies. They keep on coming with new innovative technology. This innovation is possible because of the R&D. So therefore, R&D budget also plays as one of the component of the technological environment. So what are the components of technological environment? The nature of technology, the phase of technological change, technological transfer, research and development budget. So next we talk about the legal environment. Now legal environment also play a very important role. So the legal environment helps in stabilizing the the marketing environment to a very large extent. Now, what is the impact of the uh, the political and legal environment on the business? So you know that the overall marketing environment is governed by various laws, legislatures. Now these are some of the laws which are very commonly prevailing in Indian markets. What are those laws? Prevention of Food and Adulteration Act 1954, Drugs Control Act 1954, Companies Act 1956, which got re-amended in 2013, Standard Weights and Measurement Act 1956, MRTP Act 1969. It has become Competition Act 2000, Display of Price Order Act 1963, Indian Patents Act 1970, Packaged Commodities Order Act 1975, Environmental Protection Act, also called as the Environmental Act 1986. Then you have a Consumer Protection Act called as the Copra Act 1986. Now, in this way, the legal environment are going to control the overall marketing environment. So, apart from that, you also have a political environment. So, what is the impact of political environment on the economy? So, the factors which influences the marketing environment is political stability. So political stability is how the political system is functioning in that particular country. The parties which are going to rule the country, the government which is going to rule the country, how that political stability is maintained. Now, India is a democratic country. We have a multi-party system. Many parties do form a coalition government. It has been seen that a single party getting huge amount of majority will be having a better political stability. Then you have business and government involvement. You know that business organization also play important role in the government because they may help in lobbying. They fund the political campaigns. They fund the political parties, and the government plays an important role in making the economic policies through the budget, or it can be done through the monetary policies. The government finance, influence of government institutions, it can include the banks, regulatory authorities, it can be Reserve Bank of India. Regulatory authorities include like SEBI, or it can be include IRDA. So various regulatory authorities which are controlled by the government, how they're going to influence the organization and the international markets. So what are the policies of the government over the international markets? We are talking about international market. We are talking about the globalization. We are talking about LPG liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now, what are the importance of marketing environment? So, why we have to study the marketing environment? So, studying the marketing environment is going to help us in identification of opportunities. So, it helps the organization in exploiting the chances or prospects for its own benefit. Now, this is done through what is called environmental scanning. So every company do what is called environmental scanning to identify the opportunities, whether these opportunities are favorable for the company or this creates a threat. That is what the companies try to find out. And the second thing is it also helps in identification of threat. So it basically gives a warning signal to the organization to take the required steps before it is too late. So, for example, in 1980s, when 70s and 80s, when when the Janata Dal government was there, the multinational company like Pepsi was told to leave the country. So that time they changed the brand from Pepsi to Layer Pepsi in order to create an influence on the customers and the government, telling that this is not an American brand, this is an Indian brand actually. So many companies do take certain measures to project that it is an Indian company, but not a other country's company actually. So threats also can be caused because of the economic policies of the government also. So the government can introduce certain laws through which they try to control the prices of certain products. They may regulate certain things. So there definitely creates a threat actually. So threat always gives a warning signal to organizations so that they can take a required steps to change their strategies before it is too late. In that way, so identification of threat is possible through studying the marketing environment. The third one is managing changes. You know that the business is continually undergoing change. So market is also dynamic in nature, it keeps on changing. So the companies also should change according to the changes in the marketing environment. And it helps in managing weaknesses. So identifying the weaknesses such as lower quality of goods or services, lack of marketing expertise, lack of unique products and services, prepare strategies to convert its weaknesses to strength. So every company will have its own weaknesses. So converting these weakness into strength is something what the companies has to do. And in order to do this, the marketing environment is going to help the companies to do that one. And apart from that, managing strength, identifying strength and fully exploiting the firm's advantage. Now, for example, one of the strength of a company can be R&D. So the company may be good in R&D. So that gives an opportunity for a company to innovate its products and deliver a better services for the customer through proper customer relationship management. And this strength can be in terms of marketing expertise or superior product quality or services or giving very unique innovative products or services for its customers. So like this, any of these can be a strength for a company. So that's it for this particular class related to macro and micro environment. And don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the latest videos. Thank you very much.